Something that's always puzzled me about Bellatrix Lestrange is her marriage to her husband Rodolphus. It's no surprise to many that there is a lack of chemistry, a lack of affection, and an overall lack of love between the two characters. In the books, they literally have no dialogue together, and I think through that lack of proximity, J.K. Rowling does a fantastic job of highlighting exactly what the marriage is: forced and fabricated, although it's up to the reader to discover that, as it's not exactly thrown in our faces. There's several factors as to why not just Bellatrix, but Rodolphus himself went along with the marriage. They met each other in Hogwarts, so surely there was some sort of romantic link at one point. What changed? When did it all become so transparent that the union appeared more like an agreement? Well guys, in today's video that's exactly what I'm going to talk about. We're going to look at Bellatrix and Rodolphus' relationship as a whole, and we're going to analyse the status of their marriage. I'm going to answer the most important question: why did Bellatrix marry a man she didn't love? Stick around and find out in today's video. Okay everyone, let's get started. We need to first look at both Rodolphus and Bellatrix separately, understand their backgrounds, then analyse why they proved a good pairing to begin with. So let's start with Rodolphus. Rodolphus comes from the Lestrange family, a pure-blood, wealthy, highly respected family who are avid supporters of maintaining a pure-blood society. The family name was even part of the Sacred 28, a list of the last remaining true pureblood families in existence by the 20th century, although it is biased to some extent with the omission of the Potter name. The Lestrange name was clouded in mystery for many years. We knew so little about it until we got some history in the previous Fantastic Beasts movie, The Crimes of Grindelwald, which was one of the few highlights of the movie that I enjoyed. Rodolphus himself, along with his brother Robaston, was an avid pureblood supporter. He really embraced his heritage and everything that comes with it. All in all, he was a very fitting bachelor for the right woman. He was actually one of Voldemort's earliest known followers, was already willing to kill for him, and introduced many would-be followers to the Dark Lord. He was also very influential over his brother Robaston, who also became one of Voldemort's most loyal followers like his sibling. Then we have Bellatrix, known as Bellatrix Black in her Hogwarts days. Now Bellatrix comes from a similar family to the Lestranges. The noble and most ancient House of Black are one of the oldest, richest, most well-respected wizarding families to ever appear in the wizarding world. Avid pureblood supporters, the purity of their bloodline came before everything and anything else, even their own happiness. Anyone who defied the requirements of the family's needs to ensure survival would be disowned, removed from the family tree, and erased completely of ever being part of the family. Some did rebel, like Sirius and his cousin Andromeda. Some found a match they genuinely came to love, like Narcissa with Lucius Malfoy, and some, in order to please their parents, married not for love, but for duty and honour. Now, if I'm honest, I don't believe that Bellatrix and Rodolphus were entered into any sort of arranged marriage. They knew each other during their schooling days, both Slytherins and close to the same age. A romance may have occurred during this time, but most likely was nothing too serious. However, we know that the couple both bought heavily into pureblood ideology, so it could have seemed fitting to continue their relationship. Now, it was rumoured that Rodolphus introduced Bellatrix into the Dark Lord's inner circle and to Voldemort himself. The thing with Bellatrix is, she wholeheartedly adored Voldemort. She was obsessed with him because of the power and domination he displayed, along with his overall goal. Rodolphus was one of Voldemort's most loyal supporters too. Don't forget he happily went to Azkaban in the name of his master. He was also a powerful wizard and wanted all the things the Dark Lord had promised. This is what may have attracted Bellatrix to him in the first place, before she even met her would-be master. Bellatrix was attracted to power. Her best and also worst trait is her devotion to something or someone, which can quickly turn into obsession. Bellatrix's life changed completely when she first met Voldemort. Her outlook on everything changed. She fully embraced everything he represented, partially because she had fallen in love with him, and partially because she was raised to follow such practices. Agreeing to marry Rodolphus was purely to maintain the family line and keep prestige and honour. Why? Well, what would the most powerful dark wizard of all time think of a woman who not only embarrassed her family name, but embarrassed another great wizarding name by calling off a relationship that promised to contribute to pureblood preservation? Purebloods were being filtered out of existence more and more as the years have gone by. The sad thing is, I believe the relationship meant more to Rodolphus, and what he shared in common with Bellatrix is that he was just as devoted to Voldemort as she was. Their marriage was a farce because their duty to Voldemort always came before their own happiness. They never had kids. Well, they were thrown into Azkaban quite young, which brings me to my next point. Did their relationship even have a chance to grow and develop? They worked as a team, not only as husband and wife, but also as colleagues, fellow Death Eaters, meaning that any quality time together never occurred. They spent more time apart than together actually, 14 years to be precise. So I think the state of their marriage after they got out of Azkaban was a lot different to how it was before they were incarcerated. In truth, there was never any love on Bellatrix's side as soon as she met Lord Voldemort, and I think Rodolphus knew that. However, his own loyalty to the Dark Lord meant that his personal feelings towards her were irrelevant if it in any way affected his ability to serve his master. I also wonder just how long Bellatrix and Rodolphus were together before getting married, which once again strengthens the fact it was just to keep appearance, to announce to society that the House of Black and House of Lestrange were becoming linked, just as the House of Malfoy would later do with the Blacks. These families wanted to make a statement that purebloods would not die out on their watch. I also wonder if Voldemort attended either wedding. That's something that has always crossed my mind. In all honesty, the excuse of marrying to maintain tradition is, in my opinion, a poor excuse for lack of character development on Rodolphus's behalf. I don't believe J.K. Rowling ever intended for Rodolphus to even get as much inclusion in the book as he did originally, and going into further detail on the relationship between the two would, I believe in J.K.'s mind, derail the whole Bellatrix obsession with Voldemort angle, because we're not supposed to ever see or have any affection for someone else previously. It's why I feel we're left with such a little amount of information, and this is backed up with Rodolphus's last mention in the Deathly Hallows book, which was Nymphadora Tonks mentioning that she injured him. There's nothing about his participation in the Battle of Hogwarts, there's nothing about his reaction to his wife's death, which further strengthens my firm belief that he was only ever there to fill a gap in Bellatrix's story. Anyway guys, with that being said, that is my analysis of Bellatrix and Rodolphus's marriage. Let me know what you think in the comment section below. Did I leave anything out that you would add in? Thank you so much for watching, have a great day, and don't forget, be happy. Thank you so much for watching. I truly appreciate your support. Everyone, notifications of uploads are more important than ever. So please, if you haven't already, turn those notifications on to make sure you're notified the moment my video goes live. Making videos is what I love to do. It's my dream and my passion. However, it does cost time and money to produce this content. So if you have $1 to spare to support me on Patreon in exchange for some exclusive unseen content, then you can click the Patreon link below or at the end of this video. Please only support me if you can afford it. And make sure to follow me on Instagram at InstaDeanJ and on Twitter at PotterFolklore. Check out my other videos appearing on screen, and please make sure, most importantly, to hit that subscribe button. Thanks again everyone, and please have a great day.